All right, enough, Manchester. How about some quick hits instead?
Let's go, Gab.
Liga. Karim Benzema bags a late equalizer for Real Madrid, who grab a point against Atleti. Jules, did Diego Simeone get something wrong in the second half? And how much did you love Luis Suarez's finish?
I'm in love outside of the right foot Suarez. And not just the outside, is that he waits to the point that Courtois goes down a little bit. And then he takes the outside of the right foot.
That's absolute genius. I would imagine
genius.
A youth team coach would say, don't do that.
No, because he could
never
have taken
finish
it
like that.
Yeah, he could have taken it inside of his right foot very early on and might have still scored. But to do that and to deceive Courtois the way he did was absolute genius. I think maybe Atleti could have held up the ball a bit better in the last 15 minutes. And they were under pressure, and I thought they dropped deeper and deeper and deeper. Maybe, but that's hard because they played so well for the first hour. And then for Benzema...
The substitutions, man. Come on, you're the king of substitutions.
Yeah,
Lamar first hour I can live with, even though Lamar I thought was playing really, really well. But what's the purpose of João Felix? I mean, what you're thinking?
No point. Unless you wanted to go and score a second one, but they were never really going for that anyway. So that was a bit strange. I give you that. For the Benzema goal, genius, and you might, as much as I love him, and I don't want to diss him, I'm not completely sure, and I'm putting out there, don't abuse me, I'm just saying that he really meant the pass to Casemiro. I think he dribbled past between the Atleti defenders, and the ball is a bit too long, and he goes into Casemiro, then it's a 1-2. But the whole move is great. I'm just not sure that he really means that pass.
I like to believe that he does. But incidentally, I'm just saying. By the way, we saw two of the greatest goalkeepers in the world, Oblak and Courtois, making ridiculous saves in this game. This could have been very different. Yeah. But Liga, right?
Yeah, completely. 3 points on...
Was it a pen?
I don't think the Felipe one.
Yeah,
I don't think it was at all.
Yeah, and I think all these people need to understand that there's still room for discretion. There's still room to look at the movement, look at it at the dynamic,
the context, of course.
And good for him. Just because you get called to VAR does not mean you need to change your decision.
Completely. Liverpool lose to Fulham, which means they have now lost 6 straight home games in the Premier League and 6 of the last 7 games overall. Gab, we've never seen anything like this. And what does he say about Klopp resting so many players? Sorry.
To me, this was the most concerning part, right? So he said he wanted to freshen it up because obviously, you had Firmino and Kabak supposedly had knocks. I think they're being rested or whatever. But then you had Fabinho on the bench and Alexander-Arnold on the bench and Sadio Mane on the bench and Oxlade-Chamberlain, Curtis Jones, Thiago Alcantara. And I look at this and I say, are you resting these people because you think Leipzig might knock you out in midweek? Despite the fact that you were 2-0 up away from home, to me that sends a really bad message.
I agree.
To me that sends, I'm so worried about Leipzig, and that I'll dismiss Fulham and I'll play the Muppets here. And look, they still had their chances. It could have been a draw, but then Fulham in the first half especially.
I think Fulham deserved to win that game, Gab. And also when you look at the lineup, did you think, they're going to win easily that game? Or did you think, we could have an upset there, considering the Liverpool team that's starting?
Yeah, I think if I'm Scott Parker, I know he's a nice guy, so he probably didn't do this. But like most nice guys, Scott Parker probably has an assistant that I don't know about who plays bad cop. And I would have said, boys, this is a team sheet, right? Phillips and the Williams brothers, all right? They are totally disrespecting you. Yeah. They think we're down. Let's show them what we're made of.
Yeah.
Barcelona are in that aforementioned Liga race as they beat Osasuna 2-0. Jules, they haven't lost since December 5th in La Liga.
That's true.
We can praise Koeman a little bit now, right? And is Ilaix the new Pogba, or is the Catalan media simply saying this because he's a tall midfielder of African descent who scores goals from outside the box?
I don't care I wish for him that he becomes the new whatever he wants to be, because I think he's very talented, and you see the goal that, the control with his right foot, he comes inside, and the shot with the left foot. He's clearly a very, very talented boy. And I just like the story. I like the idea. I like the attitude. I like he looks just kind as well, everything. So
did Pogba when he was his age. And he's still sweet and kind today, no?
Yeah, true. No, I mean, of course. Pogba is a good role model to have.
I make a joke about this, about making comparisons, which I love doing in Spain and in Italy too. Yeah. Oh, the new so-and-so.
Of course, in France.
Leave it to one side.
Yeah.
Let's give this guy a couple years as a professional. He's only played a handful of games. And then maybe we can start drawing this. But,
completely. But Osasuna is a game that Barca should win. I'm not sure Koeman deserves more credit than he had after Sevilla.
He had to make a tactical adjustment.
Yeah, but still, they won it. It was not great, and they did okay. the big game for them is in Paris on Wednesday, not against Osasuna at the weekend.
How about the pass from Messi to Alba?
Oh, yeah, but that's they can find each other with their eyes closed. We know that. Sticking with Barcelona, Joan Laporta was elected president on Sunday night. Gab, you've been more positive than most about the club's prospects. Is it the same with Laporta at the helm?
Yeah, I'm not all doom and gloom. Look, I mean, Laporta has his issues. It's not because Laporta's there. I'm just saying Barcelona aren't doomed to oblivion the way some people have made it seem. And I'll probably write a column later this week on this.
But of the three candidates, he's the best one to have won, right?
Wow.
You would think. Jordi Cruyff, Alemany, all that team that he's building up.
I don't know.
Xavi,
Look, Tony Freixa obviously belongs in a zoo, but Font, I don't know. He seemed reasonable to me. I thought so. But I think overall, like the pieces are in place. A lot of the pieces are in place.
Yeah.
Just when you thought Milan were ready to fall apart, they go to Verona and they win 2-0. Despite, speaking of injuries, the absences of Theo Hernandez, Ismail Benacer, Simon Kjaer, Hakan Çalhanoğlu, Ante Rebic, and of course, Zlatan. I might add Sandro Tonali as well. Jules, how big was this? And did you know Rade Krunic and Diogo Dalot could score goals like this?
Well, certainly not Krunic and Diogo Dalot, to be fair, as well. First ever goal, for either of them in Serie A. Great, and you know what? I like the spirit. But we've said that before with Milan. Even when big players were missing, the spirit, the character was great. I thought Franck Kessié was outstanding in that midfield. He was a monster. He did everything, and it's good for them because they needed that win. And Verona is not an easy place to go to. So
as Juventus found out.
Yeah,
recently.
well done for them, and I think that makes it all very interesting for the United game on Thursday night. Huge game coming in midweek for Juventus against Porto in the Champions League, of course, and they prepared by leaving Ronaldo on the bench against Lazio, at least initially, and coming from behind to beat the Laziale 3-1. Gab, how encouraging is this, and how bad is it if they screw up now on Tuesday against Porto?
All right, they only need to win 1-0. Right, they're 2-1 down from the first leg,
yeah.
So you have to do it. I think it's pretty much in or out. This was encouraging, not just because it builds up your confidence when you say, hey, look, we can come from behind after gifting a stupid goal, and we can do it without Cristiano.
Yeah.
That is big. Juventus were terrible for the first 20 minutes.
As often.
Sorry?
As often. They often really
not
struggled
for the first time.
Half hour.
They came back in. He tried different. I think the other encouraging thing from him is he tries different solutions. Danilo in midfield, Alexandro at center back, you know, and the team take to it. They have to step it up, but they are baby steps in the right direction. Hey, could all go out the window against Porto.
But again, Morata showing how important he is.
Morata scoring a tremendous goal, incidentally.
Yeah.
Arsenal are held to a 1-1 draw by Burnley. Jules, between Granit Xhaka's boneheadedness and the weird penalty that wasn't given on Eric Peters, the first one, I have to admit they were a bit unlucky, weren't they?
Yeah, I thought so. I didn't think it was a bad performance at all. You know, they created, certainly in the first hour, they were good. And then it's just those thin margin. You concede a goal that you gift away, and then decisions don't go your way. It happens. Tottenham roll over Crystal Palace 4-1 as Gareth Bale and Harry Kane scored 2 each, and Kane assists Bale as well, by the way, on both. Gab, this was entertaining and effective. Can we say that Bale is back? And how does the BKA sound to you?
It's much better than BBC, BKS, evocative of BTS, of course. Heung-min Son, Bale, Kane. Look, Mourinho, of course, pointed out that they've already scored 100 goals this season. I don't know.
Only Bayern, I think, has scored as many.
How he adds it up. But look, if he can play like this, it was mesmerizing. It was breathtaking. Yeah. It was really good. They had those moments.
Who again?
Was it Palace?
Oh, yeah.
But hey, look, Palace, who looked so good against. No, whatever. Look, let's leave it. But I think, Jules, you know, we've been harsh on Mourinho before.
Yeah.
If Bale is at this level, that adds a whole different dimension. Your boy Ndombele, for example, wasn't there either.
Yeah.
So when I look at this, they can do this. They can get top 4. They can do something important in the Europa League. And Mourinho's vindicated, no?
Yeah, no, I'm with you. This is very encouraging. But again, do it in the bigger games that are going to come. For example, against Arsenal on Sunday.
At least it's something to build on. Kylian Mbappe scores 2 as Paris Saint-Germain beat something called Brest, but which I believe is a part of the body, if I'm not concerned. But anyway, whatever. Never mind that. Neymar is back in training and just in time for the Champions League quarterfinals, right? Because there's no way they're screwing this up against Barcelona, no?
I don't think so. I'm not going to watch. I don't care. I'm going to watch Liverpool, Leipzig, far more interesting game. Neymar is back. Your boy Florenzi is back as well, which is great. And Poch says he has a plan against Barcelona. So, hey, I trust the process, the Poch process. Leipzig keep pace with Bayern in the Bundesliga, beating Freiburg 3-0. as the only living solo in captivity, Gab, gets on the score sheet again. 2-2 now. Gab, can they actually come from behind and knock out Liverpool?
Well, this Liverpool team,
anything's possible.
Anything's possible. Look, I think they're on a tear. They're on a really good run. I think in their last 9, I think the only time they've lost is against Liverpool. And, of course, that was down to individual errors. It took them a while to break them down. Kevin Campbell looked really good. I've already told you how impressed I am by the fact that he keeps changing things around. Nobody's guaranteed the starting spot, and it seems to work. Yeah. Why not? It is a big ask. You always going to have the threat on the counter as well with Liverpool, because no matter how badly Salah plays, he's still really, really fast. Yeah. But look, they're going to give it their best shot, and if they get knocked out, hey, gives them a better chance in the Bundesliga.
Exactly.
Jules, I know you love your Checkers. Help me celebrate Youri Tielemans. Yeah. No look past. I gave an injury-riddled Leicester a huge win against Brighton that keeps them third.
Huge pass, huge assist, huge goal from Marcotti, of all people as well. And then Tielemans, and we've said it before when we praised Leicester and Brendan Rodgers and Youri himself, he's been outstanding all season. Yeah. Such a talented, classy player. One of the best number 8s in the Premier League this season, without a doubt.
If you haven't seen him, that Lewis Dunk, that look that he gives lying on the ground when he stretches. And Lewis Dunk's been really good, right?
Yeah,
you don't blame him. But just that look of despair is incredible.
Yeah, and I just think those kind of passes, either you've got them in you, but you don't work on them, you don't create them. It's just, he's just come there. You know, that's the gift of geniuses, people like him. Bayer Leverkusen beat Borussia Monchengladbach in the battle of the Champions League pretenders in the Bundesliga. Gab, it's 5 straight defeat now for Gladbach since the announcement that Marco Rose was taking over at Dortmund. Is it just all about karma, right?
The numbers speak for themselves.
5 defeats in a row.
And as we know, karma is a female dog. Look, I don't know. This was everything about there. Look, in the real world, managers leave clubs for what they think are bigger jobs, right? And this always happens, and they'll have contact during the season. There is a good way of handling it. There is a bad way of handling it. Whichever way was done here was the really, really bad way. I don't know if we blame Marco Rose, if we blame the club. Obviously, it was a club who announced, he has opted to ignore the final year of his contract. But to have this all play out in public, they're destroying Gladbach's season.
It's
simple as that.
Such a shame. Such a shame.
It feels really weird saying this, given that it's early March. But yeah, we have. Are they the first champions in Europe? I don't know.
Yeah, I think
Rangers have clinched the Scottish title for the 55th time. Jules, not bad from that Steven Gerrard fella, and also not bad considering that in the past 10 years since they last won it, the club went bust, started from the lower divisions. A lot of stuff has happened.
Loads of stuff happened in the last 10 years. They've rebuilt that team and that club completely. And I think Stevie G, for his second year in charge, has been magnificent. If you watch them play, it's easy to say, but it's only Scotland. No, it's not only Scotland, because they're really performing in Europe as well, in the Europa League. And he has this team.
So it's not just a Celtic implosion that we've seen this year.
No, it's part of it, of course. And he helped Rangers a lot, but they're still unbeaten, which is incredible in March. They play well, really good going forward. They've got great patterns of play. They're aggressive. They're disciplined, and as a first experience for a manager like him, so young, I think it's pretty impressive the work he's done. And there's no doubt that he's going to go and achieve far bigger thing than just winning a Scottish title for Rangers. Common Ball have confirmed that South American World Cup qualifiers that were supposed to be played later this month in March or in the international break have been suspended. Gab, I think it's the right choice, but how will they fix that now that they won't be able to play those games?
You have to say, I didn't think it was going to come to this.
You said because clubs threatened to not.
It's because the United Kingdom. It's all down to the United Kingdom, frankly, because a big part of it is down to that because of their quarantine rules, which that they don't have any sporting exemptions from countries on the so-called red list, which includes South America and Portugal. And FIFA has said anybody who needs to quarantine more than 5 days, clubs do not need to release them. So at that point, once the likes of City and Liverpool come out and say, well, we're not going to release our players, then you've got a problem. You also have a problem within South America, though, and I think this is what really tipped the balance, is that there are restrictions on flying within different South American countries. I think it's going to be tough to fix. I think the most realistic way is to maybe go to triple headers going
like
forward.
We had in Europe, like we have sometimes in Europe.
Like UEFA have done in Europe.
Yeah.
There's been suggestions of, well, why don't you play the games in Europe? Well, the reason is, guess what? Maybe most of Brazil or Argentina play in Europe, but that's not the case for a lot of these other teams. There's been suggestions of there's the Copa America this summer. Can you somehow use that as some sort of surrogate for, that seems to me like a hornet's nest. Best solution, I think, is going to 3 games. You only need to do it twice, and hopefully they'll be able to do something like that. Suboptimal, but then again, it's CONMEBOL. There's 10 teams and 6 of them qualified? Come on. Sevilla crashed to their 3rd straight defeat, losing to Elche 2-1. Jules, that old Lopetegui magic is waning, and top 4 is now in jeopardy too. And
suddenly, those defeats that they had, the Ocampos penalty missed against Barcelona, psychologically is coming back, and it's hurting them a lot. He made loads of changes because I think in the back of his head, of course, there's the Champions League game against Dortmund, but they just were not good. And even if they took the lead, they were not good, and I think they deserved that defeat, maybe more than others that they suffered in the last few days.
Percent chance that they beat Dortmund?
I still think it's 50. No, I was going to say 50-50. Dortmund now, 60-40 to Dortmund.
Really?
Yeah,
because they realistically need to win by 2 clear goals.
Yeah, but I still think this is it's an open tie considering Dortmund can't defend.
We're not off the Lopetegui bandwagon.
No, not completely. Napoli beat Bologna 3-1, and your boy Victor Osimhen comes off the bench to score a great goal, just what Ronald Gattuso wanted. Yeah,
and this is after getting a knock on the head and the concussion. I think, all right, Gattuso needed to settle things down because Aurelio De Laurentiis, the president, there were rumors, there were suggestions he might get sacked. There was the incident with Insigne. Insigne, by the way, had a great game, scored 2 goals.
Again,
It shows you that Gattuso may not be the greatest tactical genius in the world, but the players play for him, they like him, and he's a really, really good man manager. And it leaves you wondering, what if Osimhen had been there all season long? How good would this team be? Now, my personal hero, Jorge Sampaoli, the artist formerly known as my personal hero, Jorge Sampaoli, he's letting me down again as Marseille are out of the French Cup. Jules, please tell me they lost to somebody I've heard of.
No, you haven't. I mean, he wasn't on the bench because he's self-isolating, so he will be on the bench on Wednesday.
Oh, good. So it's not his fault.
So it's not his fault. It was the last game of Nasser Larguet that I don't think many people will remember as the Marseille manager, seeing how bad he's been in that interim role.
Who did they lose to?
Canet-Roussillon from the fourth division. I mean, the whole thing was a car crash.
Where is that?
It's near Perpignan, so in the French Catalonia. And it's not just that they lost. It's that they were beaten and well beaten by a team that dominated them, a team that played 3 games in the last 4 months because their league has been suspended due to the virus. So it was just so embarrassing. It was incredible. I mean, they were trolled by the Canet mascot who had like a Boca Junior shirt for Benedetto. I mean, it was an incredible game, seen everything you want, and again Marseille letting their own fans down. And just a few days after, their owner Frank Marcotti said, we're going to win the Champions League. The objective is to win the Champions League. Start by winning the French Cup and then we can talk.
La magie de la coupe, right?
Exactly. West Ham's owner says that Declan Rice is a £100 million footballer. David Moyes disagrees, Gab, and says he's worth far more than that. Far more even. Gab, your thought? I mean, I'm lost for words.
Yeah, look, it's the old thing, right? You're worth what somebody's willing to pay you.
Yeah, but
and
I can tell you now, no one is ready to pay 100 million for Declan Rice.
Yeah, I mean, maybe not even pre-pandemic. Maybe in some future parallel universe, people just don't look. I don't want to have a go at Declan Rice, and it's an issue obviously in the summer when Chelsea tried to get him, and they were quoted 80 million or whatever it was, and we all love Declan Rice, but the reality is players who play Declan Rice's position do not cost 100 million. No. I was trying to go through memory, like who is the highest paid defensive midfielder? People will spend that on center. Well, they haven't yet, but at some point they might spend it on central defenders. But
it's like Rodri, like 50 or something.
I mean, there might be somebody I'm forgetting, but that's the reality.
Yeah.
And that's Man City, and that's no pandemic, and that's Rodri. That's not Declan Rice. So I don't know, but hey, right now I really like David Moyes as a person, and there's no argument with the fact that West Ham have been unbelievable this season, and he's done a phenomenal job.
Yeah,
and
completely.
Wouldn't it be funny? I mean, I don't think he will, but if he won his 4th Manager of the Year award. Wouldn't that be the ultimate troll for Mourinho, who of course has won as many Premier League Manager of the Year awards as you have, Jules?
Yeah, and
Zero. Both of us combined. There you go.
Thanks so much for watching ESPN on YouTube. And for more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for premium content and live streaming, subscribe to ESPN Plus.